I'm sure this guy shows up all the time. He's Ian Marlow, president of cybersecurity firm FitechGelb. And Ian, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Is it Fitech or Fitech?
Fitech, like financial technology.
FitechGelb. Got it. So you may have heard during the commercial there, I was in a little debate with my producer about his tardiness today. And he was alleging that I don't know what time he got in, but thanks to these great new technologies out there, my Ring doorbell actually showed me a video of him walking in late, even though I was not here. So much of this going on right now, okay? Everybody's on the Ring, the Nest, the this, the that, all the information stored in the cloud with your emails and everything else. Now kids are going back to school. Last year, people were hacking into Zooms and disrupting classes. TikTok, it is alleged that if your kid has it on the phone and somebody wanted to get real tricky, they walk in your house and you have your house on a Nest, they could actually get into your whole home from one of your kids having TikTok on the phone. What are you guys doing with all these kids now going back to school? You want at least the kids to be, what do you guys know that people need to know about their own personal cloud security and privacy? Is there any little tricks you can give us?
Well, there are little tricks. The first thing is some of them are free and some of them cost us money. So we can start with, some of the free things. And when something is free, there's a reason to give it away for free, which means you probably have to deal with an advertisement or things like that. But you start with that. For the kids, it's control over their devices from your device. Most of the parents that I meet, and I am a parent, I have an 8-year-old that's just going back to school. Most of the parents do not utilize the security settings on the kids' mobile devices or take the time to actually set them up so that you as a parent are monitoring their device. And this is not new advice. This has been around for 5 to 7 years.
Well, I love this. This is the stuff because people don't. I love this. Tell me what you mean, because you know what? I just had a sit down with my son last night, and I said, John, when you call me and you need me to pick you up from somewhere, you want me to get you a new pair of cleats, I answer the phone in 2 seconds. And when you text me, I text you right back. My son, I text him, and he tells me I'm out riding. 3 hours later, he answers me or something. And he's on my cell phone plan. So you're telling me I can take control of his phone?
Absolutely. So,
tell me how. Tell everyone how. We all want to know this.
There's a great app that actually you can use called Life 360. That's a great app. This is something that it has the feature similar to Find My iPhone, but you register as a family, and not only can you actually tell where he is, it'll say, you'll got a notification. He got to school. He got to the soccer field. He got home. How many minutes ago that he actually left that. And as a parent, if you want to share the same information, I'm coming to pick you up at school. If you want, they can get a notification that in fact you left work and you're on your way. So not only being able to see it, but being able to know when they left, when they got back, and it is showing a map on the app. So the first is, the what they call contact tracing, right? So we're actually tracing contact-wise where you are, what time you left, what time you've gotten there. That's on one level. So really now understanding, and you as a family being able to know where the kids, where the parents are, the parents where the kids are, and you can elect and to exclude your phone, from that. So you're seeing from a parent to the kids, and so you do have that option. They don't really love that option, but you do have that option.
Husbands across America are shutting this show off right now.
Shutting this down right now.
Their wives hear about Life 360. But
the next, in terms of basic, like even with.
But wait, let me just hang on, because this is. I love when my audience learns stuff like it's like simple, practical stuff that they could actually try. Right? I told my son the next time I text you and call you, and I don't hear from you within 60 minutes, I'm going to shut your phone off. Okay? So does Life 360 allow me to punish him by shutting his phone?
Life 360 doesn't, but there are a couple of other apps that allow you to, remotely control the phone, and you can actually disable the phone. But to tell you the truth, you don't want to do that, because if you disable cellular, you can't turn it back on.
No.
So, right?
So I have no leverage on that one then.
Well,
all right.
You do have the leverage that, in fact, under the parent apps, you could, if you wanted to, actually see their text messages. You can see what apps.
I don't want to do that to them. I just want to annoy them a little. I just
You
want to
really
annoy
wanna
him a
go,
little.
which,
That's all. I don't
yeah.
want to read his text message. I don't care if he's I care, but he's a great kid. I trust him. I just want to bust his balls, and then he'll say, all right, let me call daddy back. My phone's off, you know?
Well, I think you'll be able to do that easily here by saying, hey, I know you aren't where you are, and you got there 15 minutes late. That enough will freak him out.
That's true. Also, and I think I can get there another way because I usually just say to my son, I'm just about to open the deli counter and deliver you a knuckle sandwich. So call me back.
Nice.
Growing number of school systems are using cloud-based applications instead of hosting software on their local servers. And in these cases, it's a wide open field for scammers. So that's not good if your school is doing that, right?
Well, the truth is we're now at a point that no one's really going to have a choice. There are differences between, pre-COVID where there was adoption of many schools wanting to keep that type of information internally. But with the speed of the requirement of virtual learning, it's basically erased that. So it is a question of creating standards and then understanding the security around them. Where we saw, Zoom usage and Zoom bombing and those things going back to April, things happen so quickly that I think educated decisions in many cases, they didn't have the time to react. The same is true of many businesses that had to be able to move to going virtual. So now going into the fall, whether it be regular schools or colleges, they're going to have to have the capability to quickly give these kids the access that they need. And it's going to be about flexibility. So I know I'm experiencing it now where my wife and I are being asked, does our daughter are we sending her back physically to school, or will she continue virtually? The technology has to enable both simultaneously to occur.
Well, what do you think as a cybersecurity expert? What do you think? You think kids are safer at home right now? I'm not asking you to weigh in on COVID. I'm talking about just from a security standpoint.
So what I think that always creates great leaps in technology change is sometimes adversity. And this is one of those cases where, there were a few years ago that kids didn't have laptops. Then suddenly they needed to have laptops, but it was a cost. And then after that, it was go to school with a Chromebook and have certain online learning. We've all experienced that in these last few years. Now, I think that it's not so much about the individual applications. It's about, just like we do in businesses, what are the protocols that we follow to ensure security? And any system is only going to be as secure as whatever the weakest link that it's connected to. We've seen major companies like Home Depot and others that are compromised by a connection to a little third-party company. This means that if kids are going back to school, they're subjected to the security of Zoom, the security of Microsoft, the security of whether it's Dropbox or any of the different applications that are going to be used to be able to support our kids' education. So the question is really not necessarily which application they're using. It's what is the password protocol? What is the requirement for the mobile devices that the kids are using? Are they using a secure internet connection? Perfect example is if you're sitting at the mall because you're remotely learning, but you bring your child to the mall and you're on the public Wi-Fi out at the mall, basically anything that your child is doing on that mobile device that could include private information is available for anybody at the mall that knows what they're doing to get into that device.
So let me ask you this.
So mobile learning is happening anywhere. Let me ask you this.
I come from a fintech background, mostly Wall Street, so I was, kind of building conversions, and genius technology guys were doing the tech part. But anytime I get near a mall or a complex or something, and they start trying to already connect me to their Wi-Fi before I get in, I get nervous. Those are the worst ones, right? These Xfinity commercial Wi-Fis where they say ba-ba. That's like the worst thing you could do, right?
Connecting to that without any level of security is the worst. But there's an easy fix to it.
What is it?
That's called a VPN, Virtual Private Network. It's a service that you'll pay probably $50 per year for your family. And it's an app you download. And whenever you're going to connect to a public Wi-Fi, you open that app. One is called Strong VPN, is a very good one that's out there. And you just turn it on and it encrypts your connection. So even if you're on a public Wi-Fi, It's actually then just using that public Wi-Fi to connect you to that secure system.
So it knows
and then
a
you can go where you want, and you can use
knows a
it
proxy, and it doesn't know you.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
Let me ask you this. We got to run, but do you use Strong VPN? Is that a good one?
I personally do.
You personally do. Well,
I
that's all
personally
I
use
wanna
Strong
hear.
VPN. I personally use Live 360. We use all the Apple settings to control the purchases. That's another important thing. A lot of families aren't protecting the apps that kids are buying, and that's like you said, TikTok and things they can download. Set up your parental settings so that when they buy an app, you have to approve it.
All right, brother. Thank you very much. We got to have you back. You're great. Ian Marlow from FitechGelb. We'll take a quick break, come back and wrap up Liquid Lunch right after this.